Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My call sign is November 9. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. Got a match for you today, a tech tree spotlight of the Tier 5 Royal Navy Battlecruiser Renown. You can see we are top tier on straight in a capture the base match. The Renown is in early access. You can see there are no Renowns on the enemy team, so I'll be able to ply my trade unworried about them, but it is worrying to me that the enemy has two heavy battleships, the New Mexico and the West Virginia. Our armor might not be able to stand up to both those ships, so that is something we will keep in mind. All right, looking at the history book, Renown was the lead ship for a class of battlecruisers built during the First World War, laid down originally as an improved version of the Revenge class. Admiral Lord Fisher, that's the free commander we're going to get at the end of the month, was instrumental in getting this ship into the ocean. Renown and Repulse were the world's fastest capital ships upon completion. Renown didn't see action during the war. Second World War, Renown was involved in the hunt for the Admiral Graf Spee, participated in the Norwegian campaign and the search for the Bismarck, did some cover for Arctic convoys, did some transports, and then moved to the Pacific Fleet, or the Eastern Fleet, where it did some attacks in Indonesia and some island groups in the Indian Ocean. Placed in reserve after the war, sold for scrap in 1948. All right, so we've already engaged our first target. Showing broadside is kind of a proposition that's a little dangerous. You're going to have to do it sometimes to maneuver into a position you like. But that being said, I found the turrets have pretty good firing angles, at least in my opinion. Here in your consumables, you get some heals, some speed boosts, and the DFA charge, and that's greatly appreciated, especially at Tier 5, where you're going to see carriers somewhat frequently, in my opinion, although we do not have them in this match. All right, I'm starting to turn out here because I'm feared of this right here. West Virginia, full salvo. You can see we got punished. And New Mexico. So my worst nightmare came true. Both of the Tier 5 true battleships came over to this side of the map. And so a valid tactic in these battlecruisers, folks, is going to be to turn and to kite away. And I'm encouraging these two cruisers to get back. I think them proceeding forward against two top-tier battleships and a cruiser is a really dumb idea. But what do I know? I've only played over 13,000 games in World of Warships Legends. All right, and on cue, cruiser number 1, Furitaka. He gets taken out. Cruiser number 2, now 1 versus 3. I can't shoot at any of these ships, except for maybe the Nuremberg. He gets taken out almost immediately. Great job, guys. Fantastic. That's what you do. So at this point, we're running away. We're waiting for our front turrets to turn around. While we're running away, let's talk more about the Repulse. It is not in WoW's builds, at least not to my knowledge. HE shells, the shell velocity 732, same thing with armor piercing. Shell weight also identical, 879 kilograms. The max dispersion of Repulse is 189 meters, at least on PC. All right, West Virginia here. We're going to let go of a full salvo. Again, I was able to use my speed and had to turn under that. But you're not going to be able to dodge AP shells forever against multiple battleships. So do not be afraid to run away and use these great turret angles to your advantage. As you can see, not really exposing much more of my current angle to get all 3 on target. And then, by the time I get those shells off, I can turn back the other way when I see these shells coming in and mitigate the angle to the target pretty greatly, as you can see. Of course, aided by the speed boost. But with 16-inch guns, it's not going to matter. You know, West Virginia's got 16-inch guns, and they're going to overpower the ship's armor scheme all over the place. All right, Rattlehead, a cruiser I wish I could see less of, but everybody with a double-digit IQ picked one up. So, it is what it is. Battleship went over there by himself. I just don't understand why. The destroyer on our team managed to take someone out, I think, on the right side of the map. We are going to shoot at the Rattlehead here with the front two turrets. And even though he's turning, we totally miss. I was going to say, I thought we hit him at least once. And here's where the numbers start to catch up with our team. We're down 4 ships to 2. And going 1v2 against 2 other battleships, like the guy's doing to the right side of the screen, or maybe did and he died doing it, which is what happened, I guess, right then. I just don't understand that. It's one thing if you're the last ship on the team. It's another thing altogether if you're still trying to win. All right, now we're really up against it. We have 3 ships remaining. The enemy has only lost 2 ships. All right, let's make that 3 ships. I do finish off the West Virginia. Return fire doesn't really do a lot, so that's good. I have to say I'm really puzzled by the Tiger here. He's asking for my help, and I told him, yeah, I'll help you. And what he does later just blows my mind. In this situation, you want to be close but not on top of your fellow teammate. And the reason why I say that is you want to be close enough so you can double team the enemy ships one at a time, 2-on-1, and defeat them that way. Also, for will to rebuild purposes, I don't think I'm using will to rebuild in this video or anything like that, but he might be. So I just don't. I would recommend sticking close together. Not maybe this close is probably close enough, within 2 kilometers. So you can activate will to rebuild. You can focus fire the enemy targets, stuff like that. And what this guy does later is just totally baffling to me. We did shoot some torpedoes. I don't see where they all went. They probably didn't do anything. Marblehead over here, maybe never logged in. Appears to be dead in the water. Torpedoes continuing on. Do we get a torpedo hit? No, we sure don't. And now we're out of torpedoes on that side of the ship. All right, here is the Koenig. We are going to turn, and unfortunately for me, he is aiming at me. Fortunately for me, he doesn't do a ton of damage. We're going to aim up because I'm shooting HE, and we do set him on fire. And then we're going to bow in here and try to do a little bow tanking. Just don't try to get the torpedoes out. Not unless you're not going to compromise your armor profile to do so. All right, speaking of compromising the armor, 2 right into the breadbasket. We're about to shoot a torpedo, and we get our 3rd turret around and finish off the Koenig for our 2nd kill. All right, so I agree with my teammate going to kill the Marblehead or whatever it was over there. But I don't agree with what he did after that. And you'll see that here in a minute. Now, we're backing up. We kind of ran into this rock, killing that other ship. I'm trying to get my turrets around so I can kill pinch here. That's just not going to work out. I often get confused when I'm backing and turn the wrong way. So I'm sure someone will be along in the comments with a tip on how to remember how to turn, but it isn't going to matter. I'm not going to remember it. All right, 1 salvo out of the rear. Can we pinch the kill? The answer is no. We missed, and my teammate is going to finish him off. Alright, so here's the part where I don't agree with what my teammate did. Here's an enemy ship, enemy Nuremberg, another Nuremberg, coming at us here. I wanted my teammate to come back in here and support me. And he does not do that. I don't know what he's trying to do, but he doesn't do that. And so instead of being 2-on-1, it's 1-on-1, and he's taking himself totally out of the battle, which is really an amateur move. I'm sorry if you're watching this video. At this point in the game, you should have been sticking to me like glue, especially because the enemy's capping the base. You going to the enemy's cap circle doesn't do anything. As we sneak in a torpedo strike on the cruiser, coming around the island here, he does not have a lot of health left, and we finish him off with a nice salvo there. Kill number 3. Alright, yeah, I don't know what my teammate's doing. I don't agree with his strategery at all. Check out the speed. I'm going to just dodge that torpedo by the hair of my chinny chin chin. My teammate just blithely continues on doing who knows what. He's not even heading into the cap. I don't know what he's doing. Is there a ship over there? Alright, so he's trying to fight somebody. Well, that's better than nothing, you know, but I was hoping to have his help over here because we are going to be fighting the New Mexico. And the New Mexico, unlike me, is at full health. Alright, we get our salvo out. We turn into the New Mexico shells. He does get some hits. We do reset the cap. No thanks to my teammate. It is 2 versus 3, so we've kind of narrowed the odds a little bit. Somehow. And New Mexico is just kind of dead in the water. We're going to aim up a little bit. Maybe I should have aimed down a little bit, but he was at a little bit of an angle. I didn't trust that. I also don't trust the torpedo angles to the front, although he biffed that salvo really badly. I'm trying to goad him into opening up more of his side for me. And I want to go towards the bow plate. Here I'm shooting at his turrets. And we do... Oh, I guess I was shooting AG. Never mind. Alright, well, I set him on fire. Now we're going to turn to get the torpedoes out. My teammate in the Tiger, who really didn't know what he was doing, is dead. That's fine. We're torping out. We take a ton of damage there. But we goad him into moving. And in doing so, he exposes the bow plate. We will fire into the bow plate and do a little bit of damage. And now we're desperately turning back. We kind of tank another salvo there, which is really shocking to me. So, although I think the Renown has a weak armor scheme, actually didn't look that bad going up against the New Mexico there. Alright, we do get a torpedo strike. At this point, we're reduced to firing into the superstructure. There's the high caliber metal. Trying to turn to get these torpedoes out, and it's going to be of little use because he is already in the arming windows. They won't arm. And thanks to the turning capabilities, they all missed. So he kills me, and I kill him. 4-kill game. Not terrible. My best game so far in the Renown. But it requires teammates to do well. Alright, here we are on the defeat screen. 115,999 total damage. High caliber metal, 3 torpedo strikes, 4 big kills, and a citadel on somebody, and 6 kept defended flags. We ended up with 222,465 silver and a lackluster 2207 ship XP and 2400 commander XP in the loss. So yeah, here we are on top of the board. 1428 base XP, 4 big kills. My teammate in the Tiger, even though he really didn't do a whole lot, finished second, which underscores how badly the rest of my team played. Like this guy, you're a tier 5 ship. You're a tier 5 ship. You should have done more. You know? Fubuki had a good contribution. You know, Rattlehead, bane of my existence, may have had the best game by a couple hundred points over me, so... And they had a Marblehead that wasn't even playing in the match. Alright, here in the port, taking a look at the ship. It is in early access. We went with Aiming Systems Mod 1, Damage Control System Mod 2. I wouldn't blame you if you used Rudder Shift, and it is fully upgraded. Taking a look at the loadout, 3 charges of the repair party, 2 charges of the engine boost. You get a choice here between DFAA and secondaries. I would choose DFAA because the secondaries are not very impressive in this ship. Just one man's opinion. All right, we're using Type 3 temporary camo because the permanent camo is not available. And the G or Strong flag. 55,200 hit points and a 13%, that's it, 13% torpedo damage reduction. You got those 3 twin 381 millimeter turrets, 17.4 kilometer firing range, 23.6 second reload, 34.6 second turn time. HE shells 5350 max damage with a 34% fire chance. AP shells 11,350 max damage. 10 twin 114 millimeter secondaries, rather low caliber, 4.7 kilometer firing range, reload every 5 seconds, 1,700 HE shell max damage with an 8% fire chance. All right, taking a look next at the torpedoes. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. 8 torpedo launchers, 4 on each side of the ship, reload 95 seconds. Max damage 10,000. They have a range of 6 kilometers at 53 knots. The detectability is 1,100 meters. AA defense, don't be fooled, rather short range. Your dual purpose first set of secondaries fire out to 5 kilometers, but by far your best AA are the Oerlikon Mark 5s, 110 damage per second. They have a range of just 2K. And so most of your secondaries are very short range, 2.5 kilometers at the best. So that's why I say don't be fooled by the AA. If you're targeted, you can probably get a clear skies like we did in the Tiger. But I would imagine by that time you might be dead. Max speed 29.9 knots, 840 meter turning circle, 15 second rudder shift time. Concealment is not that shabby. 13.4 on the surface, 11.1 from the air, 12.7 when firing in smoke. All right, let's take a look at the stats of the Renown. Hello. All right, we have played 16 games, won 11, lost 5, kill death ratio of 0.9. This last game was our best game, except for the max XP. Maybe the damage. I don't remember how much damage I did. Anyway, here in the armor viewer, yeah, not a lot to like here. Lightly armored Citadel at the waterline, although it is a little bit more heavily armored at the waterline. That's not saying a whole lot. Putting the bow back on, you can see you've got a keel that's pretty heavily armored. The front is 26 millimeters. That's pretty standard. Do have some of an armor belt there, and we'll get to that here in a second. Right there, up to 229, probably back joining into the casemate. Turrets and barbettes, well, out of the casemate, they are more heavily armored. Turret faces are somewhat sloped, but this isn't anything to write home about, nor does any ship have turret armor to write home about this tier. Here's the casemate, side plating, if I can ever find the armor belt, 229, right there all the way back, so you get that little piece on the bow, and then the rest goes to the side of the ship. You get a little bit of spaced armor here to the overlap of that torpedo belt, and that is the armor profile of the Renown. All right, taking a look at our commander, Andrew Cunningham. Obviously, I recommend Fisher when he comes out of that ERNOP a month from now or 3 weeks from now. But this is a pretty standard range build here in Cunningham. Fisher is really meant for battlecruisers, and so I recommend him in any battlecruiser type ship. Maybe even the Hood. Maybe. We'll see. I'll have to do a video on that when we get him. I will probably do follow-on videos when I unlock him and put them in these ships. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. That's the Renown and Early Access. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.